Greetings to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this next edition of a relatively new segment here on the Autistic SuperChannel that I've been calling the Power of the Prompt. For those of you who may be new viewers of the channel, let me explain how this works. On WordPress, um, which is what the Autistic Super blog is based on, um, we're given a daily prompt and want to give our chance to explain our thought process on this very easily. And one of the things that we have to do with this prompt is explain it in the best we can. So for this one, I decided to check out uh, the following prompt. What is the last thing you learned? For me, dear readers and viewers and listeners, this one's an easy one. I've there are a lot of things I've noticed about myself when it comes to like 2 years ago, when it comes to my autistic burnout, which I've documented in depth, not only here on the Autistic Super channel, but also on the Autistic Super blog. Um, One thing I've noticed about myself is how patient I am. I'm very patient with a lot of things. Maybe too patient sometimes. And sometimes when my patience runs thin, it just gets like really like I've noticed how impatient I can get when certain things happen that I can't control. Another thing I've learned during my time of autistic burnout, and this might be something new for everyone here, is how my poetry is how I process my emotions. Keep in mind, um, a dear friend of mine mentioned to me during a picnic she and I had, um, asked me, responded to me talking to her about this. She told me that if I didn't, she was questioning if I realized it or not. I realized it. I realized how my poetry process how I process my poems. I process my emotions through my poetry. I think that was actually the one thing that I took out of this. It was one of those times where I knew I was good at my poetry. I didn't know how good I was at my poetry, or how impactful it is for me. And matter of fact, dear readers and viewers and listeners, it's one of the reasons why coming up soon, I do plan to record some of my poetry here on the Autistic Super channel in a new in a relatively new segment that I'm going to be calling Poetry Packed Out. It's a mainstay at the Autistic Super blog, but you'll understand what I mean when I get to that one. I just hope that my poetry comes out the way I want it to come out. And um, another thing that I've learned about myself, and this is most recently, and I guess this is what the prompt is telling me, is that I am very, very, very hard on myself, even to the point of perfectionism. And it's not good. I mean, I know I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again and again and again and again until I'm blue in the face. That being on the spectrum is really tough. Like there are certain things you want to control, but you can't. You want to be able to fix, but you can't. And when it comes down to things like this, you always feel like you're so hard on yourself that you have a certain standard to set, and anything below that is kind of like a fail in your eyes. Um, I've realized that I need to really like give myself the benefit of the doubt and realize that what I do as an individual, as a poet, as a worker is enough. I did the one thing. The reason why I'm so hard on myself is because not just because of other things, but also other things like masking. Anyone who knows anything about autism knows about masking more than anything else. it makes you realize just how much work goes into certain things. I'm reminded of Selena of the movie about Selena Quintanilla Perez, and there was one thing that her dad said that really resonated with me, and it's resonating with me now. Um, we have to be more. We have to be more Mexican than the Mexican. We have to be more American than the Americans. It's exhausting, and the same thing is true here when it comes to autism. When it comes to spectrumites, the way I look at masking is we have to be more autistic than the autistic, and we have to be more neurotypical than neurotypical. And again, it is exhausting. It can be draining. And when you put the pressure on yourself, when you get criticism from all around, and the fact that you're always masking your, I mean, when it hits me, when I get criticism, it hits me hard, and I really need to give myself a little bit of grace. Um, and I really need to give myself more freedom to make mistakes, more freedom to be kinder to myself. And that's one of the things I want to do during Lent. I succeeded in a way, but again, I'm still a work in progress. Although there was one thing that really resonated with me that kind of might boost me up in that ladder. You all, dear readers and viewers, have heard me talk about a wonderful poet friend of mine who is someone who I really admire. And even though he doesn't want me mentioning him being a godfather, he definitely is a poetic Hall of Famer that's based out of Cooperstown, Mikhail Horowitz. He's just someone that I really like admire and really like treasure not only as a friend but also a poet. Um, he I was in a recent poetry reading at shout out Socrates, and they had poems in the window, and I was one of the people that was part of the poem whose poems were selected. So one of the things they had us do is that they did a poetry reading for us, and my friend Mick recognized immediately that I had become more confident on the microphone. For me, that's like getting getting the pat on the back by Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig or Allen Ginsberg if I go that far, and I use that one for emphasis, and that really boosted my confidence a little bit, and it really like helped me out a lot with how I can turn this and maintain it and be better at it through later life is going to be something that's going to be really interesting. So I hope that gets the power of the prompt out of the way. Um, if you like what you heard here, dear readers and viewers and listeners, please, please, please like, share, subscribe. And you can check out all my videos here, not only here on the Autistic Super channel, but you can check out all my videos on the Autistic Super blog.wordpress.com. Until next time, dear readers and viewers and listeners, stay safe, stay strong, and as always, shine on.